Hello and welcome to the Downsized. Today is November 23rd, 2025, and it's almost Thanksgiving. So thank you for joining us today. My name is Christopher Durham.
I'm Laraine Durham.
And we are the Downsized. This is our weekly opportunity to talk about what we do in our life and answer some questions from you guys. We affectionately call the Weekly Weigh-In. For those of you who are new, again, probably the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, we talk about what's going on in our journey.
20 minutes seems crazy.
It does. You should watch last week. There was 20 minutes, I think.
Was there?
There was.
I'm usually talking about GLP-1 related things that happen in our
Sometimes
lives.
there is a dotted line, yes. But it's okay. I mean, it's basically that first section is us talking about our journey and what happened in our actual lives. So if that's not something you're interested in, there's always chapters in these videos. You can advance to the questions and see those questions. If you'd like to ask us a question, please leave a question in the comments. Make sure you use a question mark. That way, when I go to sort for questions, YouTube will be kind and give me all the questions and we can answer them.
Be kind, rewind.
Yeah, be kind, rewind.
No one says that anymore.
No. Before we jump in, though, of course, we are not doctors. We're just your average husband and wife who live in the suburbs, who've lost weight using GLP-1s. Between us, we're down about 150 pounds. I'm down 100. You're down how much?
50. Well, 49 today.
Basically using Tirzepatide, so what is branded as Zepbound and Mounjaro. So it's been very, very successful to us. We also ask that you kindly like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that every time we publish a video, and we publish every day, you'll get an alert.
Yeah, we've got over 33,000 subscribers, so if you've already subscribed, thank you very much, and welcome back to The Downsized. I've lost over 50 pounds on the GLP-1 medication, Tirzepatide. I've been in maintenance now for about a year and a half.
Year and a half? That seems like forever.
For the first time in forever.
It does. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I hit my goal weight in May of 2024, and it's November 2025. And so now it's really just become like our GLP-1 lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So last week we were traveling. We went to Las Vegas and we saw Kelly Clarkson, and we had a Downsized meetup with some of our viewers at Caesar's Palace. And then we went to Chicago and we did an event for our other business, the Velocity Institute. And we did a meetup there with some of our Chicago and Chicago area viewers. That was a lot of fun, a lot of travel in a very short amount of time.
Very tiring.
It was a lot. It was tiring. I probably wouldn't do two things back to back like that again.
It's running a marathon. It's all good.
So I weighed myself, before we left, and I was 144. And then I weighed myself 8 days later when we got home, and I was 143. I don't know how that happened, but I'll take it. So my starting weight was 193 pounds, and I'm a 5'5" mother of 3 children. I am 56 years old. And so I started at 193. When we got home from Chicago, I was 143. Today I'm 144. I think because of the popcorn I ate when we went to see Wicked the other night. But anyway, we saw Wicked Part 2 for good with our musical theater loving daughter, and it was great. I loved it. Did you like it?
I did like it. It was good.
Highly recommend it. But we each got a small popcorn and a drink, and I think that costs like $125.
It wasn't quite that much, but it was very expensive. Yes.
It was I think the bags of popcorn were $9.99 each. So again, I had that dilemma of, I'm eating this bag of popcorn, I get about a quarter of the way through it, and I'm done with the popcorn, but I've paid $10 for this popcorn. So, and, I'm holding it, and so even without kind of thinking about it, I'm eating it, and I don't really even want any more of it, and so then I put it on the floor so I would stop eating it. And I had about a half of the bag left, I guess, when the movie was over. And I was like, I could take this home. I did pay $9.99 for it, but then I was like, it was so salty, and I'm like, I'm gonna be retaining water from this. So I just threw it away on the way out of the theater. And it's funny because pre-GLP-1 in my life of always being on a diet, I would very rarely get my own bag of popcorn at the movies because I knew that I would eat the whole bag and then, just be wanting more. Our first date was actually, one of our first dates was a movie. Do you remember the movie?
Men in Black 2.
Men in Black 2. And I remember we went to the movies, and I remember you got a large popcorn, and do you remember what else? It was a candy.
Oh, it was chocolate. It was the
snow caps.
Snow caps. Those are my
snow
favorite.
Caps.
I love
and
snow
he
caps.
took the snow caps and dumped it into the popcorn. I was like, wow, this this guy knows the weight of my heart through my stomach. So anyway, but normally at a movie, I don't get candy, I don't get popcorn because I always just tried to stay away from those things. I do remember as a child going to the movies. I would always, my mom would let us get a big box of the movie candy. And that was one of the, few times that we got candy. And I remember I would always get Raisinets because you got a lot of Raisinets in that box. And I could eat them slowly and one at a time. And I could eat the chocolate off and then eat the raisin.
Then you just had raisins.
I like raisins. I remember it would last. I always wanted to get the candy that lasted the longest amount of time. Like had the most bites, had the most pieces. Well, I mean, what do you guys do when you go to a movie? Like, do you eat popcorn? Do you try not to snack? Do you, and on a GLP-1, the movie theater that we go to, this particular movie theater now sells alcohol. And they have for a while. You can get wine, you can get beer, and you can carry it to your seat. And pre-GLP-1, sometimes I'd get a glass of wine and have it. And I saw that wine when we went there the other night. And I was like, oh, I don't want that at the movie theater. It seems weird now to me. But anyway, so
yeah,
movies.
That wasn't weird. The people with the nachos and the pizza were kind of weird, but
they had nachos there. Pizza seems weird at a movie theater. A lot of movie theaters just have added so many more things. And is it more tempting now or less tempting now? I think it's probably less tempting. I don't like those foods don't necessarily call to me, but sometimes the smell of popcorn, kind of, kind of relate it to the movie theater. So, you kind of have to have a plan going in. I remember when the kids were little, we'd smuggle, we'd go to the drugstore and buy, the cheaper candy and have a big purse and we'd smuggle it all in. How about you, Christopher? How'd you do this week?
Oh, it was a bizarre week because I was up. Did I not tell you this? I was up like 5 pounds for a day.
For a day? Oh, yeah. I know you were up when we came home.
Yeah, I was up like 5 pounds for a day after the flight. I think it was just water retention because then it was pretty much gone. Mm-hmm. I think my last weigh-in I was 187.2, but then I was up like 5 pounds after the flights. I think it was all water weight.
So you were like in the 190s?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was a bizarre thing. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this morning, however, I'm down. So I was 186.4 pounds exactly. And I say exactly because that makes me 100 pounds down total because I started at 286.4 pounds. So I think it was just water weight or whatever. I don't know. It's just one of some days the scale just does aberrations. And
well, I mean, we flew, and usually when we fly, it makes me retain water. So I don't know. Maybe
it was gone in 2 days.
But it didn't seem to do that to me this time. I'm not sure why.
Anyway, so I am 57 years old, 5'10" and a half. Started at 286.4, now 186.4, so 100 pounds down. And basically, my center weight, as I call it, is 185 pounds. So up a little bit, down a little bit. I've been in maintenance since, I couldn't tell you the exact date. I don't know, April. Maybe somebody will remember better than I do. I'd have to go back and look. But it's worked just fine. I've been on 15 milligrams of Tirzepatide, still spaced out every 7 days. It seems to be working okay for me. I don't have any plans of going up or down or spreading it out. And we're just kind of moving along. I have a doctor's appointment, I guess, after Thanksgiving.
First week of December, I guess.
Yeah, I think of December. So we'll see how the blood work and everything is there. My blood pressure was up a little bit when my weight was up, when I bumped up. So I don't know what was going on there. But it was actually ended up taking I still have all my old blood pressure medicine. So I took a half a blood pressure pill because I was like, it's kind of up and it's giving me a headache. And
Interesting.
well, that's one of the things the doctor mentioned the last time I was there is the weight certainly helps, but you're not going to completely defeat your genetics. So if you genetically are prone to high blood pressure at some point, it just is what it is. The blood pressure helps. But.
Well, and we had been doing a lot too. I mean, when we were in Chicago, we were still walking a lot of steps every day, and in Vegas we had walked, what was it, 18,000 steps one day. I mean, that's like Disney World.
It's a lot of steps.
So, it's a lot more steps than I usually walk. I know it's a lot more steps than you usually walk. This morning I went for a walk. It is gorgeous outside here in North Carolina today. Now it's November, the Sunday before Thanksgiving, but it's I think 70 degrees outside today. It was nice yesterday too. I did some yard work. I was battling the leaves in our yard, and I think the leaves won. But today I went on
You had the blower out.
I did my 3-mile.
Terrifying JoJo with the blower.
Yeah, I was blowing. I'm really bad at yard work. Like, I don't enjoy. Our next door neighbor loves yard work. Like, I saw him when I went for a walk this morning, and I said, I was trying to blow some leaves and round them up. I'm sorry if I got some into your yard. He goes, oh no, it's fine. He goes, I do this. This is my workout. He says his yard work is his workout.
He also has a $1,000 blower, and we have a $49.
My blower came from Aldi. He has a cordless, one like the landscapers use. Yeah. I went out this morning and I walked 3 miles in our neighborhood. And, I wear my headphones and I was listening to some music, and it was nice. I always think about things, get good ideas. I see other people's yards, note how they have handled their leaves or not handled their leaves. Our neighborhood, we've lived in this house, 19 years. Our daughter's 19. I was pregnant with her when we moved in. 19 years. And so all the trees that the builder planted along the sidewalks are now fully mature, big trees.
With lots of leaves.
And the leaves, we have one tree on our sidewalk, that the builder put in, and they have the tiniest little leaves, and they put trees all through the neighborhood. And our house is a low point in the neighborhood where all the water, there's a storm grate in our driveway actually, and all the leaves and all the water, everything comes down to our point in our driveway. So the fall,
she says
it's just
that like
mess.
It's terrible. It's really just the low point of the street, and there's no danger of flooding or anything. It's just sort of a nuisance.
No. I mean, when it rains really hard, that drain gets clogged, and then it's anyway. Home ownership. Yay, right? So anyway, I walked 3 miles this morning, and it was great. It was nice outside. I was glad to get outside. So if it's nice where you are, I hope you were able to get out and get some sunshine. I always enjoy it when I can get direct sun on my face, especially in November, December. It's just kind of rare. We were in Chicago, and it was gray and cold and kind of rainy, and that was Chicago in November. So I'm very glad to be back in North Carolina, back at home. Yeah.
Very good. So other than the travel and my temporary blip up on the scale, any other big things this week?
Well, we've got, Thanksgiving coming up, and Christopher cooks all of our Thanksgiving dishes. We're going to be near my parents in South Carolina, and my sister and her family, and my sister's in-laws are also coming. We've rented a house near my parents where just we can all stay and Christopher can cook. So that way it's was almost the same as staying in a hotel really for us with our grown children. And then that way my mom doesn't have to worry about mess or cleaning up or, because they're just busy with doctor appointments and my dad and all that stuff. So Christopher's going to cook everything and cook some things here and take them and cook some things there.
Yep.
And right now we've kind of got staging areas in our kitchen of all the products. And, we're just taking a lot of stuff. So I'm wondering, I hope there'll be room in the car for my suitcase.
There will be room for your suitcase. We're only there 2 days, so it's not like you need that big a suitcase.
No, I'm taking my, my small
we'll
rollerboard suitcase. So that'll be good. So, and just about that, we were at the grocery store yesterday shopping for Thanksgiving in the coming week. And I was thinking about when we get to the rental house, what am I going to have for breakfast? And I want to do high protein breakfast, and especially on the day of Thanksgiving, I think it's really important to start off in the morning with a high protein breakfast. That's just going to set yourself up for, for success. And I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to get? What for us and the girls? And I'm like, oh, I could get some bagels. And then I'm like, that is not a high protein breakfast. That does not accomplish that goal. So I got some Greek yogurts. That's really about as far as I got was Greek yogurt, because what else could I take? I mean, I guess when we get there...
You can cook anything you want.
Yeah, but I don't want to be cooking when
You don't cook.
Well, you're going to be cooking Thanksgiving, so there's not going to be really any room for me to
I can make you anything.
Cook eggs. Or
I would not expect you to cook anything, darling. I can make you anything you want.
So, I mean, we'll probably have eggs there. I'll probably have eggs and Greek yogurt or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And I did see in the grocery store some high protein bagels. There's protein in everything now. Everything is loading up on protein. And I looked at these high protein bagels and I'm just like, I wonder if these are any good.
Let me break it to you. No, they're not. And
I didn't really want to get them and pay a lot for them and travel with them and then be disappointed by them. So I did not buy those. But I think definitely for Thanksgiving, you want to start off with a high protein breakfast. When you go to fix your Thanksgiving plate, eat your protein first. I wrote a short ebook that's in our Amazon store if you want to check out all my tips on Thanksgiving and the holidays and all the situations that you might find yourself in this week and in the next 6 weeks or so. But protein, you can't go wrong with protein. Also, water, make sure that, I'm going to travel with water. I'm going to travel with some of my big Stanley 40-ounce cups, which, Christopher.
I always have a cup. I just don't carry the gallons that you guys do.
Right. I want to show you my cup because I got a new Hello Kitty cup. This was given to me in Las Vegas by one of our viewers that came from the meetup. So thank you, Aaron. And there's a Hello Kitty cafe in Las Vegas that I had meant to go find when we were there, and we just got busy. I totally forgot about it. And Erin came to the meetup. She's like, I got you something. I was like, oh my God, I love it. Thank you so much. And the bag it came in was really cute too. So I kept that. Okay, water. All right. Do you want to get to some questions?
Absolutely.
Questions?
So on from our way in to weighing in on your questions. As I said before, if you'd like to submit a question, please leave it in the comments underneath this video. Make sure you actually use a question mark so that YouTube will sort it appropriately. You're in charge of the questions, Laraine.
All right. The first question is from, maybe I should put my glasses on so I can get a full picture here. Janie Miller 825. She writes, don't they say weighing daily isn't psychologically healthy? Isn't once a week or once per month to check one's weight healthier mental-wise? IDK. Emoji with lady shrugging shoulders. I never said I was mentally healthy.
Well, so
now, probably, you have to look at that number on the scale as just data. And that's really hard to do. That's really hard to separate, because I've been weighing myself every day since I was about 10 or 12 years old. So that number has, can make or break my day. it's all me, right? Wrapped up with all these emotions. So I think now at this point, now that GLP-1s have freed me, if that makes any sense, they've kind of like, my weight is not, that number is not my enemy anymore. That number is not my nemesis. That number doesn't define me. That number is just a data point. And so I can look at that number and not feel fear or shame or terror or anything but that's my weight today. Does that make sense? I mean, how do you feel about that, Christopher?
Well, I went not to how I feel about it, but to let's do a deep dive and actually look at the research that's out there. So there's a good bit of research out there that takes a look at daily, weekly, and monthly weighing. And essentially the research is pretty mixed around how frequently you should do it. Now, the things that are not mixed is that regular weighing increases your likelihood of consistent and sustainable weight loss. So basically tracking lets you know what's going on and it's good. Now, so the question is the mental part of it. Essentially what the research says is if you come into weight loss and you have a background of eating disorders or mental health issues or what have you, then you should track that pretty closely and make sure that you do not continue to feed into those issues that you have. But the research does not point towards it being mentally bad for you. It really doesn't. I think there's a few new things in the field right now that are looking at digital scales and other expanded views of health. So beyond just the old school weight on the scale, saying, well, when you also track water and muscle and all the other things on it, and you're looking at your total view of health, the early reads on that are it's a very healthy thing to be able to look at your total health thing. So I think the research is evolving, but I couldn't find anything that said don't weigh daily.
I mean, really, it's up to you, right? What works better for you at this point where you are in your journey right now, right? So we recently got a Hume body pod. We're sponsored by Hume body pod, and we have a link and a code. You can get 20% off using our link and our code Downsized. We'll put those in the description. And someone asked another question, Shay2682, what is the link to get the Hume body pod with the discount? So we'll put that in the description. But well, tell people about your experience with the body pod.
First of all, the body pod is, Hume calls it a body analyzer.
Instead of saying a scale.
Instead of saying a scale. If you look at it.
Because it does so many other things.
If you look at it, it looks like a scale. Mm-hmm. However, it's basically an 8-point bioimpedance scale that versus the traditional 4-point one, which is the one you stand on with your feet, right? It sends an electrical signal up through your crotch, basically, and back around. But it's measuring half your body. So the old school ones are not terribly accurate. This one, you bend down, you pull a bar up, and it's on a wire, and it gives you more points. So it's just a lot more accurate. I think it's super intriguing because the numbers that it's giving you beyond weight just give you a view into your health and your body that we just really didn't have in a way before. And I mean, water content, there's all kinds of muscle, there's all kinds of cool things going on there. Mm-hmm. If you guys haven't watched, we actually did a video where we compared the results from the Hume body pod to DEXA scan we did. So gold standard, everybody says DEXA scan, and they were within a couple of percentage points for me. Some 1%. Of them were almost identical, right? So they were very, very close. I thought the DEXA scan was super cool, but at the price that we paid for it, it's not something that I would want to do on a regular basis.
Right.
Whereas with this, I can get numbers every day, right? And I can get and see progress, or honestly, at this point in maintenance, I just want to see that I'm staying level. I don't have to, most of those numbers don't need to change. I just want to know that I'm maintaining where I am. Mm-hmm. So I think the technology is really cool. I wish we had it when we started because it would just give us a better long-term view
of how your
of
how
how
your
we're
body's
doing.
changing,
Yeah.
right? Because old school scales, you just have a number, your weight number. That's all you know. But sometimes when you're you could be losing fat, you could be gaining muscle, and maybe on an older scale, that weight number just stays the same, and you say, well, I don't see any progress. But with the body pod, you can see how your muscle mass is changing, and you can even see in each body part your muscle, like right arm, right leg, left leg, torso. Like, you can get really specific. Now, it's not like you can spot reduce these areas, right? But I thought it was pretty interesting to see how much muscle was in one arm versus the other, and were they even, and stuff like that. So it just kind of takes the focus off that one weight number and helps you get a whole other host of things that are going on in your body as you're losing weight, as you're gaining muscle, as you're reducing your visceral fat, as your body water might be getting better.
To that, I mean, I mentioned earlier this week I was up like 5 pounds.
Yeah. Did you look at the water
I
weight
did.
percentage?
So the water weight went up a lot. Like you could see this spike. So I was obviously bloated.
Right.
Right.
Good to
Probably
know.
from travel and from salts and all that. And then I could watch it go down. And really it took about 2 days to kind of level back out.
Level out.
But you weren't... I mean, I did freak out a little bit.
I mean, anytime your weight pops up more than a couple pounds, it's
But I mean, you could see that
like,
there was
what's
an
going on?
actual thing happening that your body...
Right.
Okay.
So it gave you more confidence that you hadn't, like, this GLP-1 ride is over and it's all out the window and I'm gaining all my 50 pounds back tomorrow.
Well, I mean, how many
you're not doing
calories
that.
do you have to eat to gain 5 pounds? It would have been, I don't know, somebody knows that number. I don't know that number.
A lot.
A lot more than we ate. Because
lot more.
honestly, our eating habits haven't really, I mean, although I eat a little more in maintenance,
Yeah.
we don't go out and binge. There's no.
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 No, and another thing I would say, a lot of people, you may be watching this and maybe you haven't started your GLP-1 journey yet. Maybe you're just gathering information and you're thinking, well, it's November. I might as well wait till January. And I would encourage you to go ahead and get started. Go ahead and start talking to your doctor, or start, getting these things like a body pod. So when you are starting, you'll have all the things you need, right? So look in the description for our link, and then if you use our code Downsized, you get an additional 20% off, and that stacks on top of their current promotion. All right, so let me go back here, and okay, so this is a question, or I don't know if it's a question, from Michael Gooden 5536. Remember the side effects. Is that like Remember the Titans?
So this was on my video about 12 GLP-1 tips that helped me drop 100 pounds. And I think very often we do these tips and tricks videos, and although I did mention side effects in there, it's primarily the things that help, right? It's not the be afraid of things. And we always want to remind people that there are definitely side effects, and we talk about them. In fact, we have whole videos on constipation, all these other things. But again, make sure to talk to your doctor about your healthcare needs, because there are definitely side effects. You can go read the Eli Lilly's and the Novo Nordisk websites. They'll list them all in exhaustive detail, just like every TV commercial with all the little tiny print at the bottom. But definitely remember the side effects. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Vicky Randall 9532 says, how do you get coverage or discounts when you're on Medicare? My doctor wants me to get on Zepbound.
So the unfortunate reality of Medicare today is, unless you have sleep apnea or one of the comorbidities, the odds of you getting covered are pretty slim. Medicare does not currently cover these medications for weight loss exclusively. In fact, it's excluded by law right now. Now, there's a lot of things going on that could potentially change that. We've talked about the Treat Reduce Obesity Act that's being lobbied for in Congress that would change that law. And then the White House currently has a plan that's supposed to roll out next year that could potentially cover for both Medicare and Medicaid at dramatically reduced prices. So we've done entire videos on that as well. Make sure you pay attention because that's an evolving thing. So we'll report more on that as it comes. Right now, really, if you're on Medicare, the best way to get a discount on actual Zepbound is to use Lilly Direct, which Lilly Direct is the telehealth pharmacy platform for Lilly, and you can go and get that at a reduced rate. And it's not a discounted rate or a savings card rate, but an actual cash price that runs right at $499. Beyond that, you're going to go the compounded route.
Okie dokie. Here's one that says, from Artfully Becoming, love your candidness. We need this. I'm contemplating these drugs for weight loss. After your goal weight, the lower dose, does it cost less? Or do you continue the max dose after the weight loss? After your goal weight, the lower dose, do you continue the max dose?
A maintenance question. What does it cost?
It depends on how, so if the cost, okay? So it depends on how you're getting your medication, right? If you're covered by insurance, Zepbound, the injector pens are the same on the 2.5 dose, which is the starting dose, as the top dose of 15.
Which could be as little as $25, depending on your insurance.
If you're covered by your insurance. If you go through Lilly Direct, which are the vials, those prices do increase beyond the starter dose. The prices do go up. Some telehealth companies charge different prices for the higher doses. When I hit my goal weight, I was on a 12.5 milligram dose of Tirzepatide, and I started coming down every month just to see, like, I was just kind of experimenting with it because there's really no guidelines for maintenance, right? And my provider had suggested it, so I tried it. Now, Christopher, he ended on a 15 milligram dose of Tirzepatide, and he stayed on the 15 milligram dose for maintenance.
The unfortunate answer to the maintenance question is there is no set formula that everyone will do. It just does not exist. There's research in the field where they're testing things on that. I don't believe after the research there will ever be a set formula. We're all unique. We all react to these medications differently. We all eat differently. We all exercise, whatever. We're all unique. So each person is basically working with their physician to figure out a dosing strategy, whether that be staying the same, lowering the dose, or spreading it out that works for them. And unfortunately today it's kind of a trial and error thing. You kind of try it, see how it works, talk to your doctor, and adjust appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people, maybe spread out their dose instead of every 7 days. Maybe they're going to a longer schedule, every 10 days, every 14 days with their provider's guidance. We're not doctors, let me just say that again. So please check with your provider on what's best for you. Personally, I am not going to try to spread my dose out during the holidays. For me, there's just too much food around, and I don't want to, that's just not going to be a good test for me. Maybe in January and February, that might be something to think about. But right now, I'm going to make sure I take my shot every week. I'm taking my shot the week of Thanksgiving. I'm not going to skip any shots. We don't recommend skipping any shots because this is our lifestyle, and this is just how we live now.
Now, what I would tell you is if cost is a consideration, the biggest thing to know is you have to manage right now because cost and availability is a rapidly evolving thing. So Novo Nordisk just dropped prices on their medications, Ozempic and Wegovy, just last week. The White House has plans to push through as part of all the things they're doing, lower prices next year. There's more competition coming next year. So what pricing and availability looks like today will look completely different 6 months from now and a year from now. So manage to where you are today, and then it'll change.
Let's see. We have a couple questions on your interview with the CEO from Fractyl Health. And this
fascinating guy.
Now, if you haven't watched this interview, when we were at Obesity Week, Christopher did an interview with the CEO of Fractyl Health. They are developing a new procedure that may answer for weight loss.
There was actually two procedures there. One which is basically an orthoscopic or an endoscopic procedure that goes into your intestines and basically cauterizes inside and changes the way your body processes things, and is supposed to work in conjunction with GLP-1s to lower the amount of GLP-1s you need to be effective, or to maybe not even need them. They also have a second longer term one that could potentially be a cure for the disease of obesity that involves an injection into your pancreas.
Ouch. Well, the questions are, how much will it cost, and has the CEO have this procedure done on himself?
So I didn't ask the CEO if he had had the procedure done on himself. I can tell you, I know that he does not have a history of obesity, so I would feel certain that he has not done this on himself. I would also tell you, in medical trials, it's not typically considered a good ethical move to test things on yourself. You're really looking for larger, so all this stuff, you're looking for larger data sets that are blind, and you get good science. It's not just about, hey, do you think this will work?
I tried this and it worked.
No, it's just not the way it works. It should be good
for everyone.
I can tell you the cost procedure on what they call Revita, which is that endoscopic, I guess, procedure. They haven't revealed it. It's still in trial, so we don't know what that will be. It is set to be an outpatient procedure, although I'm sure it's not cheap. It should not be out of reach for most people. And his presumption is that insurance is more likely to do a one-time thing that's a physical surgery. It's not really a surgery, but I don't know what you'd call that.
Kind of like a bariatric
procedure,
surgery.
Physical procedure, than some of the pills and injections, because they go on forever. And so we'll see. But there's no pricing released on it yet.
All right. Then we have a question from Michelle Lee, 2762. I decided to go through Mochi Health. What is your code again for starting up? Mochi Health is a telehealth provider. I use Mochi Health for my online doctor visits and to get my compounded Tirzepatide. My code and link are in the description. My code is QIYG, the letter O, and 8, so you'll just want to copy and paste that from the description. Every dose is the same price, so $199 a month for compounded Tirzepatide, and they do charge $79 a month membership fee, which covers all your doctor visits, and if you would like to see a nutritionist, it covers that as well.
Very good.
And the next question kind of relates to that as well. It's from Judy Murdoch. Says, question, might compounded Tirzepatide prices come down as a result of the administration encouraging Lilly's prices to come down?
In general, the answer is we don't know, but it's very possible that there could be a price war here. Novo obviously just pushed their prices down. There's still a pretty big price gap between compounded and the branded, even when it comes down to the prices that the White House has been talking about. That's usually at least $100, if not $200, depending on the telehealth company that you're working on. So stay tuned. It's possible.
Yeah. Another question along these lines are from Antone35. I have a question. How many companies/pharmacies are actually making Tirzepatide and semaglutide here in the United States? Where do they get theirs? Are they making their own?
So Antone and I were actually talking in the comments about this. So this becomes confusing for a lot of people because the branded medications are all FDA regulated and approved, right? And compounded medications are all created by state regulated pharmacies. So they were like, well, where does this stuff come from? Well, the vast majority of what's called an API, which is a active pharmaceutical ingredient, comes from overseas, regardless of honestly what drug you're using. Who's making it, doesn't really matter. It comes from overseas. Even on any drug outside of GLP-1s, most of those ingredients come from overseas. First of all, I don't know how many companies there are actually, telehealth companies, compounding pharmacies there are in the United States. A whole lot. They're not actually making the API, the Tirzepatide or the semaglutide part of it. They are buying it from a manufacturer somewhere. What we know is state regulated pharmacies are required to use the FDA's green list. So the FDA approves factories, no matter where they are in the world. China, India, Mexico, it doesn't really matter. They have to approve all of the factories. And then state-regulated pharmacies have to buy off of that green list. So it should all be good to go. That being said, make sure you use a reputable state-regulated telehealth compounding pharmacy.
Right. So you want to have a reputable telehealth that is putting you with a reputable state-regulated compounding pharmacy. So this one is from Andre de Matea, 36. They say the savings card expires in December. This is for probably Eli Lilly or Novo Nordisk products. The savings card expires in December. Am I now forced to buy direct without insurance or pay full price? I don't see they offer the pens without insurance. So Eli Lilly specifically, I'll just speak to this one because I've seen it a little bit more. Eli Lilly offers a savings card. So if you have commercial insurance, but it does not cover Zepbound, then you can go to the Eli Lilly website and apply for a savings card, which would make Zepbound $650 when you go to your pharmacy and buy it. They have a similar one for Mounjaro that is also $650 if you have commercial insurance that does not cover Zepbound or Mounjaro. Now, we don't know, these coupons expire, these savings cards expire December 31st.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if they're going to be extended.
There is a new Mounjaro one. It's on the
Mounjaro
website.
one. The Mounjaro one has been extended, so it will go into 2026.
Mm-hmm.
The Zepbound one currently has not been extended. We don't know if it's going to go forward.
And honestly, historically, they have always done that new. And now, when I say they have always, been the last few years because it hasn't been around that long. The piece that's in the mix is the whole White House conversation with lowering prices. So how does that impact their pricing strategy?
Yeah.
We just do not know.
So
stay tuned. There's more information to come. We will report it when we get it, but there's still a lot of unknowns to all of that.
Yeah.
If a new savings card comes out, we'll certainly include it in a video, I assure you, because everybody wants to know.
This one is from someone named, Laraine Fath, 4824. Just started GLP-1 support vitamin and mineral blend. Do you take anything like this? Love your channel. I have in the past. Currently, I am taking just a 1-a-day multivitamin, a calcium supplement, a biotin supplement. In the past, I have used a GLP-1 supplement like Replenza that kind of put all of that into, one or two just more expensive vitamins. So there are some out there. What do you think about that, Christopher?
I think it might. I don't know this one that she's speaking about, but it might be a good solution. I mean, the only thing I take is a Centrum 55 Plus Men's multivitamin. So
we do think a multivitamin is good.
Yeah, I mean, I always say on all of this stuff, please go to the doctor, get your blood work done, see if there's anything that you're deficient in that you need. And then honestly, I really like to get most of my vitamins, minerals, fiber, the whole as much as I can in what I eat. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard in the beginning when you're just not able to eat a lot of food. It's important to, make sure you have a multivitamin to supplement your nutrition. Do you want to do this one?
Sure.
Why don't you read it?
From user called Anybody6724 says, hi, my partner is wanting to try GLP-1. She's 36 years old, overweight, and has bladder stones already and a fatty liver. What advice could you give me? What should I be concerned about for her? Well, the advice number one is have her go to her doctor and get a full physical and talk to her doctor about the options, because there's a lot of options out there. Obviously, there's semaglutide and Tirzepatide, but see what's going to work for her. I don't know enough about bladder stones to have an opinion on it.
We just are not
I don't
doctors,
know.
and if you already have issues, you can't.
Yeah, but I would start with your doctor and be very honest and express, have her talk to them about, hey, I need to manage my weight. How can I get healthier? We know there's options out there, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Just talk to them. The fatty liver piece of it, there is quite a bit of research around fatty liver disease and how these medications can significantly help that. In fact, we have interviewed several people who have given fatty liver numbers, and I won't quote them because I don't honestly understand them. So I would definitely do that. What should you be concerned about for her? Just have her build a good medical plan. And honestly, I don't think there's a ton to be concerned about. There's certainly side effects that you need to manage to and be aware of. But for us, they've been minimal, and statistically 20 to 30% of the people, according to the research, get any one side effect, and the vast majority of people still stay on the drugs. Manage any side effect closely and be in front of it, but the vast majority of it can be managed with, honestly, things from your local drugstore or Amazon or wherever. And if you need more help, stay in touch with your doctor. Actively managed. I mean, what would you say?
About side effects or
Yeah, all the above.
Yeah, my main side effect has been constipation, which I think was a problem for me before I started GLP-1, and GLP-1s just kind of slowed everything down and made everything more evident. So I do take sugar-free fiber gummies to supplement every day. I do try to eat fruits and vegetables every day. I try to drink my water, about 100 ounces of water a day. I like a product called Mago 7, which is available on our Amazon store if you want like a overnight kind of detox kind of thing. And there's a lot, when I asked my doctor about it, he suggested Miralax. So that's another option. Ask your doctor, if you're having constipation or nausea or diarrhea, start with your doctor, and you can always send them a message through the portal. Christopher has his doctor, also at home, and we are able to message our local doctors directly. So, if you can establish a relationship like that.
I think it's the final question from CSGB Productions. Would you ever consider doing an episode on weight loss after 72 weeks? As that is when the studies seem to end. Do people just stop losing? Does their rate slow down? Does it matter if they titrate it up more slowly, staying at the lower doses for longer? I'd even be interested in anecdotal information about this. Thanks for the great work you do.
Well, we're all about anecdotal information.
So let me take this piece by piece. So would we ever?
We've been on for now over 100 weeks.
So would you ever consider doing an episode on weight loss after 72 weeks, as that's when the studies end? The studies don't actually end. They're still tracking those people, and
reporting just ended.
Yeah, the initial reporting ended. Unfortunately, I don't know that there's enough for us to do an entire episode on that because it just hasn't been released yet. But they're still tracking, so sooner or later we'll get those. Your question is then, do people just stop losing? No, they don't. There's no magic timer that goes off and makes the medication stop working. That's going to be different for each.
Stop losing because they've lost all their bodies has to lose. Yeah.
It's not a...
Well, there's no time limit on these things, really.
So, and then to the next question, does their rate slow down? So as you get closer to your goal weight, your maintenance weight, your center weight, as I call it, typically what we see, myself and anecdotally, is that rate of loss slows down. So if you started at 300 pounds and like I got to 185, yeah, those last 20 pounds go a lot slower. It just does. Your body's doesn't need to.
And if you think about an average weight loss being 1% of your body weight per week, if you weigh 300 pounds, that's 3 pounds a week. It would be 1%. If you're 186 pounds, that would be 1.8 pounds per week. So as you are smaller, that average weekly weight loss, that 1%, is just going to be a smaller number as you lose weight.
Right. So then your question is, does it matter if they titrate it up more slowly, staying at the lower doses for longer? There's a big debate on all of this, and pretty much the popular anecdotal wisdom is titrate slowly right now. Many people believing that will extend the effective weight loss of the drug to a longer period of time. There unfortunately is no research that says that. None. Okay, it doesn't exist. I've looked, it's just not out there. Maybe someday we'll have it. When I ask doctors the question, the reason they say that they recommend titrating up slowly is to minimize side effects, to keep you on the drug as long as possible, because side effects are what cause more people to leave. Side effects and cost are the two reasons people stop doing it. So their goal is really just to keep you on the drugs. We simply don't know. we simply don't have the research because they're not tracking how you titrated. They're only tracking your weight loss. So maybe someday we could look back at 5 years and go, or at 2 years or whatever the length is, and go, Susie titrated up this way and Bobby titrated up this way. Did they lose more or less weight over 72 weeks? We don't know the answer to that right now.
Yeah, because in the Surmount studies, they pushed everyone up in dose every month to get them up to that 15. So, and now I just watched a YouTube video with Dr. Spencer Nzowski talking about, when to move up. He's like, well, first of all, are you having side effects? If you're having side effects, you don't want to move up because that will just give you more side effects, right? If you're losing weight at 1% a week, then stay in your dose. You lose it. You don't want to lose at a faster rate because that can cause bad things to happen, like gallstones. And I knew a girl in college who lost 100 pounds on, was it one of those liquid diets? I don't think that are around too much anymore. And she ended up having to have her gallbladder out. And I've talked to several people who lost weight really fast and ended up losing their gallbladder. So just something to think about, right? You want around that 1% rate of weight loss. So if you're not having that and you're not having side effects, talk to your doctor. Maybe it is time to go up to a higher dose. I don't think you need to be in a rush to get up to that higher dose, and everybody's different. And I've seen people lose 50 pounds on 2.5 milligrams of Tirzepatide, and I've seen people not lose anything until they got up to 15 milligrams of Tirzepatide, and that is all anecdotal evidence.
Yeah, and
because we're not doctors.
Honestly, your other problem is, so for me, basically, I lost all of my weight in 72 weeks. Might have been a week less or a week, but it was basically around 72 weeks.
Yeah.
The drug didn't stop working. I'm still taking the medication. I could still lose weight if I wanted to.
Right.
Now I'm choosing to maintain, so I'm eating more calories.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the anecdotal information, the best access to the anecdotal information is going to be in our Downsized Dish interviews, and we have people who talk about their experience on both semaglutide and Tirzepatide, and even 1 or 2 on liraglutide over the course of now at this point 3 and 4 years, some of them who have lost 50% of their body weight, 60% of their body weight, all the way to I'm just taking the shot right now. So there is a ton of anecdotal conversation around how these medications work and how long they continue to work.
I think they just keep working, and I don't know if anyone knows if they will stop working at some point. I had a person say to me, this person has lost 145 pounds. And she said, well, I've lost 50% of my body weight. And these studies only say I could lose up to 18-20%. So maybe this is as good as I'm going to get. Maybe I should just be happy where I am. And she's right at around 200 pounds, a little under 200 pounds. And so I was like, I don't think you're necessarily just going to stop losing, at some point. I think, you can certainly keep going and still keep working at it. And I don't think necessarily your results are just going to end at a 3-year mark or a 4-year mark.
There's no timer that the medicine just stops working.
Yeah, I think, and studies keep being done on other indications for Tirzepatide. So now it's approved for sleep apnea. They're running other, Ozempic has been approved for cardiac heart health. So, now they're looking at it for things like
cancer and Alzheimer's, and all kinds. We report every week on the news.
It's just so amazing, and so many people are even wanting to start taking Tirzepatide just for overall inflammation reduction and other benefits. So, it's just these GLP-1 drugs are just simply amazing, and I don't really think we completely understand all of the good things that they're doing in our bodies.
And the beautiful thing is there's new drugs coming every day, and there's drugs that have other activators and glucagons and amylins and other things. Yeah. So even if you did even if your body did say, oh, that's all you're going to lose on this one, there will be new ones in the next year to 2 years that could help you
Yeah.
continue to do what you need to do.
You know, and if really, you know, and I know this time of year, so many people are thinking, oh, the holidays, that's just a really bad time to start thinking about weight loss, and I might as well wait till January. And what I would really encourage you is to not wait, to go ahead and have that appointment with your doctor. Go ahead and, you know, get any blood work done that you need done. Look at where all your other levels are and see what you need to do, because the sooner you start, the sooner you're going to feel better, right? And that's just amazing. And, you know, we started September 29th of 2023. So basically we started and then the holiday season started.
Yep.
I lost weight every week that first year, that first holiday season. So you can absolutely do it. You can absolutely start whenever you want to. And as far as we're concerned, the sooner the better.
So I think there was another question. I think it was in the Facebook group that was, hey, I have the medicine. Should I start this Friday or should I start the Friday after Thanksgiving?
You should have started yesterday.
Oh, my statement is always the best day to start is today.
Today.
Right now. The second best is yesterday. So
I mean, if you know, right now today, if you're watching this on Sunday, what are we on, November 23rd, and now we're like 4 days out from Thanksgiving.
go for it.
Would I start like tomorrow, Monday? Probably, sure, but you know, definitely. And if you're already going on your GLP-1, definitely don't skip your shot for Thanksgiving. You're gonna this medication is going to help you to eat less. It's going to help you to really be choosy about what you're putting in your body. And maybe, you know, we can take a taste of lots of different things, but we don't have to get 16 plates of food. Like, and I say 16, but usually for me it was at least 2 plates of food, maybe 3 plates of food, and then a couple hours later it's dinner time and we'd have another plate of food.
Yep.
And here's all the desserts. So, you know, it really just helps you to pick very carefully and take smaller portions. Take smaller portions. You can always go back. You're probably not going to want to go back, though, is the thing. You know, and I'm just thinking about all the desserts that we're going to have, you know, for Thanksgiving, and I'll want to take a little bite of a lot of things, and that's fine. And that's really can be very satisfying, you know, because I don't want to miss pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. I don't want to make some sad, low-calorie, crustless version. I mean, if that's what you like, that's great, but I like the real thing. And usually we only have it on maybe Thanksgiving and maybe Christmas, so... But I'm going to have, you know, I'm going to have a little bit. I'm going to feel good about it. And I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to focus on protein. I'm going to maybe go for a walk that day. And, you know, it'll be great. It'll be worked into my program.
All right. So that was our last question. If you'd like to submit a question, please leave it under this video. And make sure you use a question mark so YouTube will sort it for me. And we'll do our best to answer some more questions next week.
Yeah, Black Friday's coming. I did a video on Amazon Black Friday deals that you might like in your GLP-1 journey, or if you're preparing for your GLP-1 journey. So make sure you check those out. You can go to thedownsized.org and click on our Amazon store. And you can also see our cruise. We have a Downsized cruise coming up in June 2026 on Freedom of the Seas, June 4th through 8th. So you can click on our cruise tab and check out all the information about that. Might make a great Christmas gift for you or your spouse, or for,
That's right.
for your family. Bring them all along. So yeah, check that out.
Very good. All right. If you haven't already, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Click that notification bell so it alerts you every time we publish a video. My name is Christopher Durham.
I'm Laraine Durham.
We are The Downsized.
Bye.